Hey there, welcome to Coming Out, the self-care podcast. Tonight I have a guest with me, my good girlfriend, Tina DeVoe. We've been talking about doing this for a very, very long time, so I am thrilled to have you finally join me, Tina.
Me too. I'm glad to be here. And by the way, the intro was everything. I was like, oh, come on with a walk.
Right. We gotta make it do what it do. But that brings me into saying there'll be a brand new intro for next week because Tina is not just my guest tonight, but Tina is the new co-host for Climbing Out. And we will talk about all things good girlfriends, specifically the pee in the dating pool.
It's a mess.
Tonight, we are talking about date them all, sis. Date them all. Because we have figured out the more we try, the more we bring in the possibilities are possible.
Options. Right. We need options.
We got options. I've seen, if I could take a piece of this one and a piece of this one and D from this one.
I'd be married by now. I would be married.
You would be married, and I would be traveling with a companion. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight because I posted something on Facebook today, and they let me have it. I said there is never, ever a reason to discuss marriage on the first date. Never, ever, ever. And I need to share why I said that. I was asked out to dinner tonight. Earlier in the day, a suitor invited me out to dinner.
Now they're called suitors.
What the fuck was going on?
That's why I got some other adjectives, but we'll go with today.
This morning, a dude asked me out to dinner, and I talked to him a couple times. Attractive, Porsche driver. You know, I love the Panamera. Intelligent, able to hold a conversation, attractive. And I said yes to dinner, absolutely willing to go to dinner. And he thought it a great idea to call me earlier, a few hours before dinner, and ask me, are you marriage minded? I heard the tire screech. Oh, homeboy. You don't even know my favorite color yet.
Okay, wait. I need to ask.
Come on, Santa. Come on.
To clarify. Okay. You've had a few conversations. Obviously, you're interested or you wouldn't even be talking, right?
Right.
He says, let's do dinner, lunch, whatever that is. And you agree.
Yes.
Right? It was for today. What randomly made him do a double back because that's something he could have asked you at dinner. Why did he randomly call back to ask?
I don't know. And when he said it was really that random. Like we've had several conversations, and I knew this weekend we were going to go out to dinner. And maybe he was on some before I spent $200 on the meal. Let me find out if this is my wife.
It's going to be at least two.
Right. It could have been that because he picked Capital Grille, my favorite. And I'm like, okay, yep, I'll be ready for Capital Grille. So William, we have a comment. What does marriage minded mean? I wasn't asking any specifics. When first off, the word marriage to me means run for the hills. I'm not here for that. So he could have said marriage, anything. He could have said marriage clothes, marriage job, marriage career. I heard marriage and the conversation was over. So Tina, let's talk about that. Like, I am 51 years old.
Well, wait, before we get into the topic, I want to know what was your response? What did you say?
My response was, I am not. Whatever marriage minded means to you, sir, it sounds like you're asking me if I'm looking for marriage. And I am not. I'm not opposed to being married, but it's not my end goal. And that is what I said to him.
Did he say, okay,
no, he said to me, I respect that, but I need you to know that marriage is my end goal. And I said, dinner with me is probably not a good idea.
I like that.
Okay. I mean, if that's your end goal and it's not my end goal, let's not waste each other's time. But the reason that I think I raised so much opposition on my page talking about it is I believe, because I'm not opposed to marriage. Mm-hmm. I am not opposed to marriage. Right. I'm just not looking for it. It is not the box that I need to check off. It is not the thing that's going to make me whole. It is not the thing that I need. It is not a goal of mine. If it happens, it happens. But it is not my agenda. So in that,
if it happens, it happens. Why would you still go to dinner? Because maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't.
Because I'm glad you asked that. Because I believe a man looking for a wife in a way that he approached me, are you marriage minded? It sounds like he's got some boxes to check. And if the woman checks all these boxes, that's his potential wife. And I am certain that I check all your boxes.
Right.
I'm certain I check your boxes. But I don't want to be your wife. I don't even know you. Why do a lot of women see a man choosing them as the high point of their existence? Ooh, my. Why do women see a man choosing them as a high point of their existence?
I was going to jump in and say one thing about the marriage minded, because while we are a lot alike, we think a lot alike.
I told the producer that.
Yeah, our mouths are a lot alike. Like we are a lot alike. But when it comes to dating, we are polar opposites. Like
and that's why this combo here is going to work.
Right. So for me, yes, we're having that marriage conversation at dinner, and it is as simple as, I wouldn't say marriage minded, but what's your end goal? Like, are you looking to get married or not? I want to know if you're divorced or not. I'm the first date, which might be why I haven't remarried. I'm getting all my questions in because I have a busy life. And before today, I had 3 kids. You know, the kids are grown, you know, now, but I didn't have a lot of extra time. So any free time that I had, it needed to matter. And I didn't want it to be random. So I'm asking, are you interested in getting married? Have you been married before? If you have like, how many times have you been divorced? I want to know how many children you have. What's your relationship with your children? What's your relationship with your children's baby mama? Like, I want to know all of that, because that tells me whether I can choose to participate or not without wasting your time and without wasting mine. So to me, the conversation is very important.
You're just going to ask, why is marriage a goal? For you specifically, why is marriage a goal?
Oh, why is it a goal for me?
Yeah, in the chat. Do you have that question directed to you?
I've been married before. I'm a widow of 20 years, and I married my childhood sweetheart. So my answer is going to be 2-part. It's a goal for me because I loved it the first time. I loved it the first time. I was married to my
probably why it's not a goal for me.
Right. I had 3 beautiful kids. I always say, people who say, oh no, I'm not into marriage. And I've met many guys like this. I'm like, yeah, because the last 2 you had was fucked up. I wouldn't be into it either. But so it makes sense and I get it. At the same time, I'm on the opposite end. I don't have a bad experience with marriage. I got married at 21. Was married till I was 28 and met my husband when I was 14. So everything about being in love and marriage and family, you knew my husband. That's how absolutely. Yeah. So 20 years later, I don't have any failed marriages. Now I got some failed relationships, but in terms of, does marriage work? Is family good? The support system, come home to somebody? Yes. All of that is important to me.
I like all of that too.
But however, I'm also on no bullshit because I got married young and I didn't have the game as a part of my marriage because we were so young, and I'm talking about our families already knew each other, everything. So I don't have those scars. I'm 48 now, so I'm alert and aware as to the games and things that are being played. But back then, I didn't. So I would say marriage is definitely a goal, but I haven't stopped living because I'm not married. You know, like
that was my question. So in this whole date them all, like it doesn't mean I'm going to date everything that asks me out, because I don't do that. I do have some parameters and some expectations as to who I will date. But in this whole date 'em all sis approach to dating, if you are looking for marriage, does that mean that you don't go out with people that don't want to be married?
No, absolutely.
Right. So I got this whole dissertation from someone today that's like, absolutely, I'm not wasting my time. I'm only going out with people that want to be. So are there that many men available that want to be married that you guys are just checking off? Because I'm dating a whole bunch of men that don't want to be married.
And there's a lot of men available. I always say that, when we say, oh man, it's no good men out here. No, there's a lot of great men out here.
I've dated half of them. And working on the other half.
I think there's a lot of great women, just like great men, just like I know there are great women, including the both of us. I think that you should date and not put too much pressure on it. Like if the conversation of marriage feels like pressure, then we shouldn't date. Because to me, marriage is it's as common of a conversation as what do you want to get to eat and how many kids do you have. Like, that's not a conversation that makes me nervous or scared. There's no right or wrong answer. But I think that you can also just go out. Like if I want to take a trip, I should just be able to go without not, oh my God, is that my boyfriend? Or what's the title? I don't have any of those. So yeah, I'll take trips, dinner, movies, vacations, daycations, staycations, morning vacations. I'm available. I think that reverse is that men have a difficult time with us because our approach to dating is literally theirs.
It's theirs. I'm so glad you said that.
Men are used to coming in and we drop everything. Oh my God, I'm so in love, and this is my boo.
Yes, I'm available.
Yes, come get me. Come. And I'm like, listen, I'm gonna be on the road for 2 weeks. You can meet me in one of these 2 cities, or I'll see you when I get back. And I may not have time to do a whole lot of texting and talking in between, or I may. It just depends.
Yep. So for me, I had an awesome first date the other day. And I'm sorry, this is supposed to be on airplane mode.
That's good. I agree with that. Somebody said no pressure. The joy is just relating to others. Yeah, just everything doesn't have to have a future. Some days we're going out because it's Tuesday.
Right. Exactly.
And we have a good time Tuesday.
And I think I talked to a guy a few times. He'd asked me out before. I finally said yes to go out. And no, I'm sorry. He called me Friday morning while I was getting ready for work. And he says, are you available to go to dinner tonight? And I said, sure, I can go to dinner tonight. And I said, but I need to warn you, I'm already dressed for work. I have on sneakers, sweats, and a t-shirt, and I'm not changing for dinner. And he says, well, I'll match your energy. I'll throw on a hoodie and some jeans, and we'll find somewhere that we can go. And I said, well, I'll do you one good. I'll at least wear a good fragrance. And he said, so what are you wearing? I said, I'm going to wear Baccarat Rouge 540, right? Yes, that's a game changer always, right? And he says, oh my God, I love that. He said, what's your favorite perfume? And I said, Jimmy Choo, I Want You, but I'm out. And he says, well, why don't we go and buy you a bottle today? This first date. Okay, we can buy a bottle of Jimmy Choo today.
Let me get my bag. What you want me to meet?
So I say yes. And he says, well, if we're going to do that, why don't we do lunch instead? Okay. I own this schedule, right? So I can do lunch.
Listen, I'm on here canceling now. Right.
So I agree to go to lunch. And we go to lunch. We go to Blackwall Hitch. Nice. And then I needed to go back to my office. And he says, well, let's do dinner too. This first date. We did lunch. And you want to follow up with dinner. So I've done well for lunch, right?
Wow, that's good, yeah.
And it takes me back to my office. I work, and we make plans to go to dinner closer to where I live. And so we met at Ulta to go buy the perfume. The sales associate says, what size bottle? He says, give her the biggest bottle you got. Okay, Mr. 225.
Thank you, sir.
Right? Then we go to dinner, and dinner was great. We had a great time. Good night. Life is perfect. And so he called me today and says, what are you doing later? And my response is, I don't know. He says, would you like to go out to dinner again? I said, well, I'll let you know because I don't know what I'm doing yet. So that whole, our approach is their approach. I ain't have shit to do.
And neither do they. But
I have nowhere to go. But you know what? I'm not going to make myself absolutely available for you each and every time you want to see me. And he even called once, and I'll call you later. I wasn't doing anything. But I think a lot of women absolutely make themselves totally available because you had a good date. So I read a book a few years ago, and it's Just an Effing Date. Like I'm here for this date. We're going to enjoy this moment. I'm not thinking about the next date. I'm not thinking about marriage. I'm thinking about this steak and this lobster tail. And
not just shrimp and lobster tower, right?
and getting to know you and this organically evolving into something. So that is why marriage isn't on the table for me. Will I go out with him again? Absolutely. And I'll go out with him until I feel comfortable enough with one person that I'm going to see you for as long as this lives. Because when it's no longer working for me, no longer working for you, we can stop and stay amicable. So
now, part of the thing I know about you is you would be open to marriage had you not had a failed marriage.
Yeah.
Just because I know your heart and I know your personality. So I think we all operate out of our experience. Absolutely. Everybody does, right? That doesn't categorize.
And I'm not far removed from my experience. I'm just
exactly. But I think the other part of it, which is something that I look for, and I mean, when I say look, I'm searching.
Okay.
Because it's the one thing that will turn me off. I'm looking to know, are you healed? Ooh, so as soon as I start seeing those signs of like, because more than likely the man I'm going to meet is either widowed or divorced, and he may be divorced once or twice.
Okay.
And I want to know if you're healed because I don't feel like doing the work.
Nope. I can't fix you, and I don't have the energy to think that I can or want to. Yeah.
And I have met men, and maybe the ones who I thought like, oh, this could be a possibility, and 3 months in. Okay, here come the mommy issues. Okay, here come the daddy issues. Okay, here comes your broken relationship with the ex-wife. And if we're already in something, right, whether it's marriage or committed relationship, and something happens in your life, traumatic, kids or whatever, I'm ride or die.
Yeah.
More than likely, I'm jumping in to try to help you to fix it.
Right.
But before, I got an option. And I met a guy once. Nice guy, great conversation, business owner. So I prefer entrepreneur over 9 to 5 if I have a choice, but 9 to 5.
I'm the same. So I need you to be able to own your schedule and be able to go.
Yeah. And so he lived an hour and a half away, right? So we didn't get to see each other often, but we talked a lot on the phone. And just so happened this particular Saturday, I decided to drive to him because he had been coming my way. So I was like, I'll make the effort. I'll come. And sitting there talking, his son walks in. And his son was maybe 15 or 16 at the time. Came in, was yelling and cussing about something. Yelling and cussing.
Okay.
About something. And so I'll just kind of let that go. Then he asked his dad something, and so his son walked away. And so he came back in, he did something else. His dad said something, he disrespected him, and then he left. And so in the moment, I didn't say anything because it's not my house, not my child. You know, I'm trying to mind my business. We go to dinner, I go home. The next day we're talking, it's at the front of my mind. Because if this is how your child is talking to you,
how can he talk to you?
I'm not even interested in being over there because even my own kids don't talk to me like that. Right. So we had a conversation. It made me ask more about his daughter and the relationship with the ex-wife, and they were in turmoil. Okay. You know, and I made the decision to stop seeing him then because that was something I didn't want to be a part of. So I think sometimes people share and they feel like well, I told you. I'm like, yeah, you told me, and then I get to make a choice.
Exactly.
Transparency doesn't grant you commitment. Transparency grants me the opportunity to make a decision.
I love it.
So share so that I can hear, and then I get to decide if I want to stay or if I want to leave. And that's the choice.
We don't experience the healing until there's an opportunity to see it in at work. So I recently stopped something for the same reason. I stay engaged in therapy. I think that every Black person should. We have been exposed to trauma that we can't even identify as trauma. So I have been engaged in treatment in therapy for a very long time. And if you are in a relationship with someone and you are pursuing healing and you are staying engaged in being the better version of yourself in a relationship with someone who's okay with who and how they are, it's magnified. The not being healed is magnified because I know. And so there were 3 occasions, and I'm completely honest, 3, because sometimes this one gets to see a red flag and go, oh, it's not red.
It's kind of pinkish. It ain't real glowing yet. Right.
And if it's good,
we're opposite. I see a red flag and I'm out. Like,
and that is where I'm trying to be. Because then if we've done some things and been some places, it wasn't that bad. So I have the ability to minimize, and that's codependency, or the need to be needed, or the thought in me that I can help someone.
That's good.
Yep. Gone are the days that I'm in relationship with someone's potential. Like, that's a grown ass man.
And whatever you marry, that's what you're going. Whoever you marry, and he may grow and become better, but you got to make sure you're comfortable with the one at the altar, because that may be all you get.
Because the biggest lesson I ever learned in relationships is, could you be with this person forever if they never change? Because the likelihood of them changing is less than the likelihood of them staying the same.
Especially the older we get, we're definitely not.
That's who he is. That's who he is. And I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt, or it wasn't that bad, or maybe it'll get better. But no, I can't do it. And so again, because of my own experiences with marriage, I'm not the one that's just, hey, yes, I'm marriage minded. No.
Now on the opposite end, Erica, I face challenge with guys who have exes and they're failed or whatever. And I'm transparent and honest, and they keep running me the list of stuff that went wrong, before, or what they don't want. I got these are my non-negotiables. If you do this, whatever. And so I'm very honest. I'm not arrogantly honest, and I'm not mean, but if you ask me a question, you should be prepared to hear like the real answer. Like if you ask me about sex, I'm gonna give you a real answer. I'm not laying in the bed faking orgasms, and I'm not interested in teaching nothing either, right? So it works on both sides, because while the guy may be healing and working on whatever he's working on my side, I'm just ready for you to come to the table, because not that I've been single, but I've been widowed 20 years. So I'm looking to get married eventually. So I don't really have time to do a whole lot of, the in-between stuff. I need you to like be present and be aware and certain. And I noticed that guys don't feel the need to choose unless they have to.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Yeah, and I don't want you to choose me like that.
No. Nope.
I don't want you to feel forced, or, all right, it's time for me to go ahead and settle down now.
No.
Let me just stick with her. No, thank you.
Let me just stick with her. Oh, no. Well, she's been riding and dying.
Right. You need somebody who knows your honesty, who knows all those things about you, and they'll like them. Yeah. And then the stuff they don't like won't be deal breakers. They're like, okay, that's her little thing or whatever. But 95% of her I love. I can deal with the other 5%.
Yeah, that's some good stuff.
Now here's another thing where we're different and alike. You say date them all. I can't focus long enough. See, I done called you the wrong name. I don't concentrate well. So because I'm getting to the things right away. Probably 14 days with me. Okay. Let's talk to see if I'm interested in staying around longer.
And I think that is what I'm saying and date them all. I'm not literally going to go out with everyone. I maybe
will you date more than one person at a time?
Yes.
Yeah, see, I'm not good with that. Not that I think I wish I could be. And maybe now that I'm an empty nester, I will become.
See, my nest is empty.
Yeah, I think that makes a big difference too.
And I think because, and both of us are this way as well. We come from the trenches. Like we're so diverse and can navigate both worlds.
Right? Yeah, right? This is really good.
And because of what I do or who I am, corporate tax bracket different. The well-to-do fellas find me very interesting. However, those dudes in the hood do too.
and they fun and they like to do dinner too, right?
They do dinners and they fly you out.
Yes, they do.
I think for me, it's because I have so many layers. It's difficult for one person it's difficult for me to be all of me with one person. So the person that you met, the last person that I was dating that you met, like he's that. And he was wonderful. And we were great. But when
I was so sad when y'all broke up because I was convinced. I was like,
everyone was. But when I needed to just be when I just needed to be not on,
and he had fallen in love with the other person.
Yeah. And it's not that I'm not myself, but you need different people. Right. And you said that as well earlier, that I can't be the best version of myself if I have to water down any version of me.
I'll tell you this part too. I have long gone are the days of dressing up, dressed to impress.
I'm done. You heard what I told him? I got on sweats and sneakers. Where we going?
If you in the mood, then let's go. But all of that, I don't do any primping and prepping, and I don't go out and buy clothes. We used to buy.
And I think women don't understand. A lot of women don't understand that you don't have to do all that.
The last guy, he liked that red pantsuit I had on. I'm about to wear that next week too, because that means it's working. So why can't I just? That could become the dating first day outfit. I'm just put on, and now we're different in this area. You are fashion diva extraordinaire. You have been that way since just always gonna be extra. You're gonna do lashes. Me, I'm depending on how I feel. I'm just now I can do it, but I don't. I feel like doing it, and if I don't, I'm not going to apologize for it. Now I know, when it's time to get dressed. We have those types of plans. Yeah, absolutely. But I think the other part of what you were saying with being yourself, I have sometimes met a guy. Yep, they need to see with your mask on and off. And listen, I was going to do a little extra something, but I got a facial tomorrow at 3:30, so I don't want to put too much on my face because.
And I was out earlier at Crabs and Cocktails. So I literally went into my bathroom before we went live, and I said, "Let me make sure I'm tight." And I'm still look. I sprayed enough setting spray on my face. I look like this by Wednesday if I don't wash my face. So it wasn't that I got done up for this. This was my Crabs and Cocktails from earlier.
The thing is that there are guys that I have met, and I have said, "Oh man, like this is a great guy. He's just not gonna fit in my world." I know he doesn't. I know he doesn't have a wardrobe to fit in my world.
Oh my God.
I also know that he doesn't speak the language in many of my worlds.
Can he afford the world?
Now sometimes they could afford it, but you can afford it, but you're gonna look crazy because it's like you. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna look like you're doing too much. And so I've often pulled back from that because I'm gonna live in these worlds. And some worlds are early morning, some worlds are late night. For us, we work with a lot of men. And so you need to be able to find somebody.
It looks like it is. We're over our 30 minutes. We are 14 seconds in. Okay.
Okay.
This conversation must continue, and we will continue with Date 'Em All each and every Sunday at 8:30. Tina is not my guest. This is the co-host. You need to be here each and every night at 8. Yes. Each and every Sunday night at 8:30, just so you can eavesdrop on two good girlfriends talking about how we are navigating this single life, one seeking marriage and one seeking to date 'em all, sis. Until next Sunday at 8:30, it's Climbing Out. See ya.
Bye.